Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My name is Hamim Bilal and I am student of first year BDS. Today I am going to tell you about oral mucosa. The oral cavity lined with an uninterrupted mucous membrane which is continuous with the skin near the vermilion border of lips and with the pharyngeal mucosa in the region of soft palate and interior pillar of fauces. The epithelium of oral mucosa originates partly from the ectoderm, that is lips, vestibule, gingiva, cheeks, palate, floor of the mouth, and partly from the endoderm, that is tongue. So you can see in the diagram, you can see the hard palate, soft palate, tongue, gum. Okay, types of oral mucosa. On the basis of structure and function, variation in different areas of the oral cavity, oral mucosa is classified into three types, that is, masticatory mucosa, lining mucosa, and specialized mucosa. By seeing the diagram, you can very easily differentiate between three of them. Okay. Masticatory mucosa, that is gingiva and hard palate, that's amounting to 25% of total area. Lining, that is inferior surface of tongue, labial mucosa, buccal mucosa, and floor of mouth, that is amounting to 60% of total area. Specialized, that is dorsum of the tongue and taste buds, that is amounting to 15% of total area. Functions of oral mucosa: protection, sensation, secretion, permeability and absorption, thermal regulation. What is protection? Act as a major barrier to microorganisms. Sensation, that is receptor that respond to temperature, touch, pain, tastes, initiates reflexes such as swallowing, gagging, and salivation. Functions of oral mucosa: protection, act as major barrier to microorganisms. Sensation, receptor that respond to temperature, touch, pain, taste, initiates reflexes such as swallowing, gagging, and salivation. Secretion, saliva that contributes to the maintenance of moist surface. Permeability and absorption, thinnest epithelial regions. Floor of mouth more permeable than other areas. Thermal regulation, DOX, that is body heat is dissipated through the oral mucosa by panting. General histological characteristics of oral mucosa. Two main tissue components. We have two main tissue components, that is oral epithelium, stratified squamous epithelium, lamina propria, underlying connective tissue. Basement membrane, that is structureless layer about 1-2 micrometer thick, interface between the epithelium and connective tissue. Connective tissue, papilla, irregular and upward projection of connective tissue, reed ridges or reed pits, epithelial ridges or peds that interdigitate with the connective tissue, papilla. You can see in the diagram the epithelium, lamina propria, submucosa, periosteum, and bone. Histological characteristic of surface epithelium. Orthokeratinization. About 20 to 30% of gingiva, the stratum corneum, is homogeneous and made up of flat, closely packed keratinized cells without nuclei. Parakeratinization, about 50 to 70. Logic characteristics of the surface epithelium. Orthokeratinization, about 20 to 30% of gingiva, the stratum corneum is homogeneous and made up of flat, closely packed keratinized cells without nuclei. Parakeratinization, about 50 to 70% of cases, the stratum corneum is homogeneous and consists of flat keratinized cells with pyknotic nuclei and remains of cytoplasmic organelles. Incomplete keratinization. Least common type, approximately 7 to 10% of cases, and is seen only in the regions of marginal gingiva. Stratum corneum is homogeneous and consists of two cell types, which occasionally form two superimposed layers. The first type of cell is the same as cornified cells of the paraketinized stratum corneum, and second type is different from keratinized cells and seem to reach the stratum corneum and its surface without being transformed into a keratinized cell. Oral epithelium. The oral epithelium forms the surface on the oral mucosa that forms a barrier between the oral environment and the deeper tissues. It is derived from the embryonic ectoderm. Epithelium forms the surface of oral mucosa that form a barrier between oral environment and the deeper tissue. It is derived from the embryonic ectoderm. It is stratified squamous epithelium and may or may not be keratinized. Beneath the epithelium lies the connective tissues. Keratinized oral epithelium, lined by non-keratinized stratified squamous epithelium except gingiva, hard palate and dorsal surface of the tongue where the epithelium is keratinized. The keratinized cells have no nuclei and the cytoplasm displays by a large number of keratin filaments. Keratinized epithelium is associated with masticatory function and have to form 4 layers of cells. First, that is stratum basilae. Second, stratum spinosum. Third, stratum. So there are 4 layers of keratinized surface epithelium. First, stratum basilae. Second, stratum spinosum. Third, stratum granulosum. Fourth, stratum corneum. So you can see the cellular layer of oral epithelium in the diagram. Non-keratinized oral epithelium. Non-keratinized epithelial cells in the superficial layers do not have keratin filaments in the cytoplasm. The surface cells also have nuclei. The stratum corneum and stratum granulosum layers are absent. This epithelium is associated with the lining of oral cavity. Non-keratinized squamous epithelium look like this. Hard palate. The surface of the hard palate that is visible in the mouth is covered by masticatory mucosa. The lateral regions of posterior part contains palatine glands. These glands are purely mucous glands. The midline of the hard palate is called median raphe, where there is no submucosa. A series of folds appear in the interior part of called ridge.